But I think the big thing that we're looking at on this ESPN draft, because it's not far different from the format that we have done on Sleeper in the past. That was sound from the draft. I'm sorry if that came through.
I was on my screen, but I don't know if that came through or not. So
I'm not sure. But the biggest thing is we're trying to see how different the rankings are. And honestly, in the top here, just looking, it doesn't look too different compared to what we're used to on Sleeper so far.
George, you're up. 30 seconds.
And Bijan fell to me at 4, so not complaining.
Oh,
and I am not doing this switch between pick history and players. I am sorry if that is annoying, because I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if it's doing it on Cody's screen or not.
Nope, I'm just stuck on players, so I don't know why it's flipping for you. That would drive me crazy. I'd leave the draft, but
well, we'll see how bad it gets here. But Cody's going to be up in the first round. Gibbs, JSN, Chase, Bijan with the first 4. Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Puka, Justin Jefferson for the first 8 picks. I'm not going to be able to do this the entire time, but I might as well keep people updated that are just listening in for the first round. And then Amon-Ra before Cody.
Yep. So Amon-Ra went. That leaves CeeDee Lamb at the top of my board, so I'm going to take him. I will hold for 20 seconds so I can kind of talk through this a little bit. And then, so I took CeeDee Lamb, and then we ended the second round. And at the top of my next pick, I'm going to get a running back here. Devon Achane will be my pick. So I'm going to go CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane. They were the best available. I still like that value.
No, I like that a lot too. And don't feel bad about just taking best available when you're this far up on the board. A lot of times that's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
I don't know if it was auto picks or what that kind of had those Jackson Smith and Jigba go too, but that was the weirdest thing that we've seen.
I mean, some people think he's going to, run it back. And I think the running backs are still like I would have taken Bijan there. But I know a lot of people, I think the Jackson Smith and Jigba going 2 versus Puka going 7. Like, I've seen a lot of people have Puka ahead of him. I've seen Jackson Smith and Jigba, or Puka definitely going before CMC and Jonathan Taylor. So I think that's the most interesting thing about these rankings and this how it's played out so far. And George is back on the clock.
I am. And I mean, the biggest thing I'm seeing otherwise here is, I think this kind of goes closer to along when we were talking about Saquon potentially being a sleeper. He's down at 18 on ESPN, and I have him closer to like 12, 13. So I think he's the best guy left on the board, at least in my mind. So I'm going to go double running back on this. We're going to see how it builds.
No, I like that. And just to get you guys caught up before George's next pick, after Achane for me, went Ashton Genty, which is kind of high compared to what we've been seeing. Drake London, James Cook, Chase Brown, Derrick Henry. That's where George took Saquon Barkley, followed by Ken Walker, Jeremiah Love, Brock Bowers to round out round 2. So we get our first tight end in round 2 of a 10-man PPR lock. Amari and Hampton, Trey McBride, so the second tight end to kick it off. And then George is on deck with one more pick between him and some of the top players available as George is now on the clock. Breece Hall, Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown.
I'm interested how low Josh Allen is here, because my immediate thought was, do I go 0 wide receiver and sneak Josh Allen in here and just go crazy? But I have a chance that he at least falls back around, so he's all the way down to 36. So I'm going to go best receiver available, Nico Collins.
Yeah, and I think that's a good pick, especially with the news of Jaden Higgins tearing his ACL in practice this past week. I know George has been a flyer on Tank Dell kind of guy. I think that also helps that in the late rounds. But Jaden Higgins, that's a tough blow for the Houston Texans, but he is going to make some time, which should make Nico Collins even more valuable.
Definitely. The first thing I thought was, oh, wow, Tank Dell last round pick might not be too bad. So I'm glad you brought that up.
No, for sure. But after your pick was Javonte Williams, A.J. Brown, and we're waiting here. I'm about 3 picks away.
This is moving pretty fast already, so there's a chance we can at least mostly go through this draft.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to get through, because I feel like more people, after like a couple rounds, more people will bounce out, and we're going to get closer and closer. I'm on deck here. Chris Olave, Malik Neighbors, Josh Jacobs, George Pickens, Teddy McMillan is the best 5. Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, Josh Allen are right there after him. I took Achane and I took CeeDee Lamb. So that takes, with Lamb out, that takes Pickens off my board here. I know there's some question marks about the legal situation and whatnot, but I think getting Josh Jacobs the end of round 3, I think that value is too good to pass up. So he'll be my first pick. I'm really tempted to go Malik Neighbors here, just because again, another value, but with the injury, I understand why it's a little bit concerning. Or it's if I want to go a little bit safer on a worse Tetaroa McMillan, I'm going to go Tetaroa McMillan. I think I probably should have went Malik Neighbors, but I played a little bit safe just in case there was the suspension looming for Josh Jacobs, and now I'm not trying to fill 2 spots if Malik Neighbors isn't ready to go week 1.
I don't mind that pick. I do think with the Malik Neighbors thing and him not having been put on PUP and he's been practicing and stuff, you're still technically getting him an injury discount because he was closer to like earlier round 3, maybe leaking into round 2 if you didn't have any injury issue, and then him going in beginning of round 4. So there's a lot of guys I've heard like that's been the like injury discounts kind of been like a buzzword, I think, going around recently, where it's like CMC's banged up, you're not getting him at a discount. Devontae Smith's been banged up, you haven't gotten him at a discount, et cetera, et cetera. But like Malik Neighbors is someone you are getting at a discount.
Yeah. And George is on the clock here while he makes his pick. I'll read you the after McMillan was Neighbors, Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers. So George can make his pick whenever he is ready.
Josh Allen falling way down the board to round 4 feels too good.
No, I like that pick a lot. I know looking back, I was hoping Chris Olave fell. If I could have got Chris Olave, Josh Jacobs on the turn, I would have liked that a lot better than Tetaroa McMillan. I think that's a good pick. I like the value of Josh Allen in round 4, even though we're typically late round quarterback guys. Cam Scatteraboo, George Pickens falling all the way to 4.9. I think that's a good steal. And then Jalen Waddle at 4.10.
And then we had next round start Ladd McConkey, Devontae Adams, and Emeka Ibuka. I'm still trying to catch up on wide receiver now because I only took 1 in those first 4 rounds. Terry McLaurin's not a bad pick there. I think I like him as wide receiver 1 potential better than T. Higgins and Rome Odunze. You know, I'm not a Rome Odunze guy. So I'm going to go Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin's always the guy in fantasy. We haven't talked a lot about him, but he's always the guy in fantasy. I'm like, yeah, I get that he's good, but I'm never excited when I have him.
I very rarely have taken him for that similar reason. But I think when we've now gotten to the point where if he stays healthy in round 5, he probably is your best option. I know that's still a question too, though. I mean, he missed how much time last year?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I am 1 pick
Rome
away.
Odunze, Colston Loveland, Bashil Tootin, Quinshawn Judkins. We're 1 pick away from Cody. Just wanted to
T. Higgins is still on the board, and that's the guy I'm hoping survives to me. Yeah. Bucky Irving is there. Tyler Warren, Jameson Williams, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Carnell Tate. Then we get some quarterbacks. But if T. Higgins falls, which he did,
Tyler Warren went, so yes.
So I'm going to take T. Higgins, and then similar to George, I am going to go early quarterback here because I can get Lamar Jackson in round 6.
So I think what we're seeing here is we preach late round quarterback, but maybe in some leagues or in some rankings, these quarterbacks are going late enough. These early quarterbacks are going late enough that we feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, and some leagues, like there'll be leagues that 5 quarterbacks have gone by round 5. There'll be some
100%.
leagues that, like our league of record, like this is more like our league of record, like because everyone likes to take late round quarterbacks. So then you're getting to the point of like, okay, end of round 4, Josh Allen, like that seems like a fun value. So I like how this draft is going so far. Recap my team real quick: CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Tetaroa McMillan, T. Higgins, Lamar Jackson. And I think I've even seen rankings where like T. Higgins is higher than Tetaroa McMillan. I'm going to check that when we do Sleeper, but I'm pretty sure he is on Sleeper. So like a round discount from a different platform for getting a guy like T. Higgins, I think is really good value.
I don't like this part of the board for me. I am going to go Travion Henderson. It's interesting to me, both New England running backs are back-to-back on ESPN, and then there's Jajarian Price in that mix too. And I just wasn't a big fan of a lot of the wide receivers in this section.
No, I completely agree with that. And to get people caught up again, obviously I took Lamar at the top of round 6. Bucky Irving went 6'2", Jaden Daniels 6'3", David Montgomery DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, George took the aforementioned Travion Henderson, Jamison Williams, Drake May, Luther Burden to round out round 6. Round 7, Parker Washington, Ramondre Stevenson, and then one more pick before George is on the clock.
And that pick was Jadarian Price. So it comes back to me looking at wide receivers again. Carnell Tate, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman, Marvin Harrison. Alec Pierce is sitting here but injured.
I feel like these wide receivers feel a little bit better than a round ago, just for like value-wise.
Yeah, like I felt like I was reaching on Cortland Sutton before. I don't feel quite as much that way now. Same with Pittman. I already took Pittman in a different mock. I'm going to take Cortland Sutton in this one. Yeah.
No, I like that one. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. should have been in play, but even Michael Wilson, who's even further down on the list, but just what he put up last year, I think that would be an interesting name as well.
And because Cody recapped his team so far for me through 7 picks, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Nico Collins, Josh Allen, Terry McLaurin, Travion Henderson, and Cortland Sutton. So I did finally even myself out at wide receiver.
Yeah. Oh, and just so everyone knows too at home, there will be kickers and defense in there. Obviously, we couldn't change the settings like we can in sleepers, so this will be the only time you get to see us draft a kicker. Maybe.
Defense might happen again. We'll see. Kempy's in control of the mock next week. If you liked our chaos mock from last year, he might do something funny.
Yeah. All right. So I'm on deck here. The Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman are still at the top of the board. Alex Pierce as well, DK Metcalf. Those wide receivers are good, but I think even a little bit lower have some better value, whether that's Mike Evans, Christian Watson, Michael Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers. I know there's some injury concerns. There's the whole, substation, whatever they got out there. Couldn't say the word. But I'm going to take Mike Evans. I think his value here, a little bit old reliable. And then I'm going to pair that with a young and up-and-comer. I believe I'm going to – part of me wants to take – I'm going to pair the Mike Evans with the Cody, you're tilting so much here. I'm going to pair him with the Brian Thomas bounce back.
And in round 8, and as your 5th wide receiver, you can definitely afford to make that pick.
Yeah, I scrolled quickly to look at the running backs because I only took 2 so far.
Yeah.
And that could definitely be the position, which, surprise, surprise, I favor the wide receivers, that I might tend to not appreciate as much, but I'm going to try to pick them up with my next couple picks.
Yeah, I remember you saying we were talking late round flyers. You're like, all these late round wide receivers, they're like, it's weird finding late round wide receivers to me because I'm used to finding value at running back in the late rounds. And It's good too because that gives us more diversity. I'm usually the one who takes running backs early. You're the one that takes receivers early. Kind of works out for the listeners then who can hear both perspectives.
Yeah. And I think also too, one thing we don't talk about too much is about knowing your league and how active they are in the trade market. I feel like it goes ebbs and flows. I feel like some years, even our league of record will have 50 trades, and then next year we'll have 3. So it's a year-to-year basis. But sometimes especially picking pick 10, where you have that double up opportunity, it might not always feel like the most balanced, but if you're in a league that's active and willing to make trades, it's okay to take 2 of the same positions thinking, hey, I might try to trade one of these guys in the near future, or I'll have this piece if I need to go get the position I didn't take later.
That's very true. And you know your league better than us, obviously. So if you know that it's always active on the trade market, that's a way to attack it as well.
Yeah, and just rapid fire trades. One will eventually get accepted, and then the whole league will be upset.
That's very true. Oh man. Yeah, these rankings in this part are very different, and I just can't quite pinpoint how. Some quarterbacks are higher than they are in other, look at Matt Stafford up there.
Yeah, Matt Stafford's pretty high. Travis Hunter seems very high. Xavier Worthy seems high. That's a guy we've been talking about late round flyers for a while. So
So I'll try to quick rapid fire us to catch it up. After Brian Thomas in the beginning of the 8th round, it was Joe Burrow, Michael Pittman, Dak Prescott, Christian Watson, DK Metcalf. I took Michael Wilson, and then it came back with Sam Laporta, Marvin Harrison, and Jackson Dart to round out 8. 9 started with Pierce, and then Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence. I took Jaden Reed. And then we had George Kittle and Caleb Williams, and Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Matt Stafford. Back to Cody.
Yeah, Matt Stafford, good one to call out. Just because he's a guy that has been going so late when we've been over on Sleeper. There is a couple wide receivers at the top that are pretty interesting, but I'm gonna get my guy Tucker Kraft here, get my tight end starter. I like that. The end of round 9. Then I'm gonna go to the running back position here. Couple names that are interesting: Rico Dotto, Tony Pollard, Kenny Gainwell, Jonathan Brooks, Chuba Hubbard, J.K. Dobbins are kind of the guys at the top of the list. I like the Jonathan Brooks aspect of it, but because I took Tet McMillan, let me go with an old reliable and Tony Pollard.
I think that that's the right way to go with you, the way your running back room is built, because you grabbed yourself likely a starter.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to try to get one more guy that we knew was going to start. I mean, he might not start the whole season just because, he's probably in his last year in Tennessee. Maybe they'll get their young guys. Maybe Tajay Spears will finally break out. Maybe whichever Penn State running back they have, I get them confused as a rookie this year. So I don't
just
mind
signed
that.
Dearness Johnson too, and I'm pretty sure their rookie running backs hurt. So okay, do I have a tight end yet? I do not. This going fast and trying to talk in the middle has been tough. I'm going to go Travis Kelce.
Oh, no, it's fine. I just had to make a sound effect.
Oh, okay.
5 years ago, incredible value.
Yeah.
It is crazy to I feel like they're tight end. I mean, obviously Kelce, but there's Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, like those guys. It is so hard to, not want to take them just because of what they were, but they're definitely on the second half of their careers. Maybe I should have looked at Mark Andrews as kind of like a little stack with Lamar Jackson, but I feel like there is a clear difference between Mark Andrews and Tucker Kraft at this point in their career.
And I know he's banged up now, but I just took Chuba in round 11 with Brooks going in round 10. That feels like even more of an overreaction than it's becoming on Sleeper.
Yeah, you might be right on that one too. I mean, I noticed that Chuba, they were ranked pretty similarly too. Man, I was really hoping I could get Blake Corum to fall to me. He went 2 picks after you took Chuba as a guy to take a flyer on at the running back position, but I am on the clock. I got 20 seconds and I'm not even on the players tab. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
No, you're good. I'll talk for a second because since I just did the zero running back video, I did try to come up with a couple of people that are good to grab this part. And you didn't go zero running back, but you're trying to catch up on running back. And Pollard's not a bad one, but I mentioned Jonathan Brooks, who normally goes this late. Honestly, Chuba down here, if he's still there, is a good point. Blake Corum was a big one. Kenny Gainwell because of his pass catching upside. And then I think Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt or pick your Washington guy would probably be the other.
All right. And because I did go light on the running back, I went back to back here as well. I went Jonah Coleman. I took the rookie over J.K. Dobbins as a high upside kind of play. And then I did the same in Minnesota with Jordan Mason. I know he hasn't been, it wasn't the best in opportunities last year. Aaron Jones is still there, but there's another opportunity for a starting running back. So now I feel like I flipped from, having an okay, liking my starters and not feeling good about my depth to balancing out my depth to I feel like I have some good places to go into the season.
This is moving so fast now that I'm just
yeah, everybody's on auto pick. So you got to shut up and make your pick. I completely understand.
Yeah. I'll try. I got J.K. Dobbins after you took the rookie. Yep. Tank Dell's pretty far up here.
I saw that too. I was waiting to see how high you saw it for him as well.
I'm not taking him because I took Nico Collins at the top, but I took Deshaun Stribling. I was kind of hoping Debo would fall down to me, but Stribling probably has more upside.
Yeah, I would agree with that at this point. Oh, buddy.
I'm
I'm
also
all
just trying to figure out exactly here where I'm at. So I'm at 5 running backs. I have the tight end. I have the quarterback. Yeah. Getting your bearings a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to take this guy. He's not even on the rankings on Sleeper unless he's jumped up with my next pick. Caleb Douglas kind of been like the training camp star for the Miami Dolphins, and we know they need a wide receiver. So did I just get a starting wide receiver at
Maybe.
the end of the draft here? I am going to peek over here and kind of see where we're at. Because we are taking defenses, I am going to get ahead of this, and I'm going to take the Houston Texans defense. I'm going to start that off maybe a round earlier, but I think they're going to be one of the best defenses in the league. Them or the Rams, depending if Aaron Donald comes. I don't think it just matters if Aaron Donald. They're the top two I would go after. But with that defensive line, sacks being so important in fantasy football, I really like the Houston Texans DST this year.
You started the defense run.
I figured I was going to.
Yeah. So I guess I'll take my last stab at somebody here. And I was trying to stay on the draft board as long as I could, just to keep the people watching understanding. I'll go Rashid Shaheed.
Okay, that's a guy you've liked so far.
And honestly, at this point, because all of the defenses at the top are gone, I can have fun and take Brandon Aubrey.
You're going to take the best kicker.
Nice.
Yeah. I like that.
It's in the last 2 rounds. I have to take defense and kicker to end it here, and there's no point in me. I'd be jumping 2 people that didn't take a defense basically yet, 3. So I might as well take the best kicker.
That is definitely not a bad pick. I was like, Cam Little goes 2 as the second kicker. I am on the clock here with my last 2 picks in this draft. Now, this is my pro tip, so to speak, with not drafting a kicker. So I'm not going to take a kicker here. I am going to take a couple more flyers. The first one is Jordan Tyson. Now, I know he is most likely going to miss the first month of the season with that hamstring injury. However, I expect him to go on IR at cutdown day, that he's eligible to come back. Means he'll go into my IR spot, and then I will take a kicker at that point. My draft is only showing kickers, though, so that's very frustrating at this point. Is it going to make me take a kicker?
That's really annoying.
Okay, it's going to make me take a kicker here. So give me the Dicker kicker. But that's really dumb.
So ESPN must not allow you to leave a spot empty coming out of the draft, or it may just be a mock draft thing.
Yeah. So in hindsight, I would have taken a different player there, but it is what it is. I like that. But I can recap. So I know that last couple rounds definitely flew by.
Yeah.
But I can recap my team. George can recap his team, and then we can get set up for the next draft, because we're doing more than one today. My team, though, was CeeDee Lamb. All right, let me read it roster-wise. I think that's better. Quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Running backs, Devon Achane, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Jonah Coleman, Jordan Mason. And then wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Ted Heroic, McMillan, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Brian Thomas Jr., Cam Douglas, and Jordan Tyson. Tight end, Tucker Kraft, Dicker kicker, and the Texans DST. Honestly, one of my favorite teams I've ever drafted, other than the fact that I had to take a kicker with my last pick, but it is what it is.
And then I had Josh Allen with Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Nico Collins, Terry McLaurin, Travis Kelce, Travion Henderson, and the Chargers defense, and Brandon Aubrey. Sorry, I ended up reading mine by starting roster, not by position. My bad. Cortland Sutton, Michael Wilson, Jaden Reed, the receivers, Deshaun Stribling, and Rashid Shaheed. Sorry, those are receivers on the bench, and then it's Chuba Hubbard and J.K. Dobbins as well.